2 spots available. Spawning in the bottom left, looking for one of those spots. It's going to be the red Terran player, ByuN.
The top right as the blue Terran, it's Journey. Oh, he's on orange. Journey loves orange.
Actually, yeah, that was weird to queue over to him being blue. That's cool.
There's not many players that always choose a color. Sometimes they'll joke about it in lobbies, like, hey, I wanted pink or something like that. But for no reason, Journey almost always picks orange, and that's very like easy to remember because no one else picks orange.
Beastie will sometimes.
Oh, okay.
I know, super duper important, right?
Proof. You know, knowledge is power, I think.
Hell yeah. All right, so getting into this series, Journey's a player that you and I fell in love with quite a bit during HOT, so we got to see a lot of sort of, I'll call it mid-range success as you started winning a lot of weeklies, but nothing too grandeur for this guy. ByuN kind of is that same boat, not really playing in any big tournaments. We're not seeing him at IEMs or GSLs, so this for me is kind of like our personal little BaseTradeTvT Weekly Cup kings fighting against each other, and I like that quite a bit, actually. I'm getting a little bit of a smile on my face just because of who's playing, but I do know that they're both objectively quite good at TvT, and they should make for an interesting match. Maybe this will be one of the rare ones that actually goes on for a time.
So ByuN is the master of micro and just cool shit, is how I always see him. It's true.
I don't disagree. Right? I don't disagree.
Like, his macro is obviously good. I mean, it's actually great. It's just not like what you... Innovation doesn't do anything tricky most of the time, but you know that he just has a lot of units. You can see that. ByuN, it's like he does a bunch of tricks and he's cool micro, and he also has solid macro behind it and good game sense and all of that makes a good player, and that's why he's one of the top on Korean ladder. But Journey was that guy that I was like, beta has to be like his thing, right? Because he does really weird stuff in Heart of the Swarm, something that's been figured out for a long time, and tries to make it work. And about like 30% of the time it does work, even though it's really weird. But it's not really what I've been seeing in Legacy of the Void. And in that way, I am a little disappointed in Journey. I still love him, but I was really hoping to see some really cool stuff. Like, oh, only Journey would think about going Reaper Hellbat. Actually, I don't know.
If you're trying to do something creative, it would be something that involved Liberators or something, I would imagine. Just like, talking about like the unorthodox strategy. Like, who the hell does this?
Mass Cyclone versus Terran, alright? Like, that would be something I thought, like, Journey would try out and try to make it work.
Yeah. Well, either way, we'll see how things go. I really... It is unfortunate that we didn't get to see him be creative and cool and a genius, and it breaks my heart, because the guys that we saw leading that direction, like Supernova, you know, retiring, that was sad just in and of itself, but there's far and few of those left at this point. I really, as weird as it is, I don't have a lot of love for the people who are great at macro compared to the people who are good at special tactics.
Yeah. I guess Journey is more of a player that can, over the course of time, just keep a lot of build orders. So he's the type of player that in 6 months, when we're like, oh, Liberator Hellbat is so over and done with, like no one ever uses it because it's been figured out, Journey would still do. So it would probably sum up his Heart of the Swarm career too, because he wasn't very popular in the beginning of Heart of the Swarm. It's only later on that we found him.
So Journey's not the only one that we've seen do this today. Quite a few things that we're noting are that Koreans are really leaning towards getting a Cyclone for the opener. It does kind of feel like Cyclone Raven is going to be like one of the safest openers you can do. Cyclone's obviously going to stop the Banshee. Ravens with auto turrets combined with the Cyclone would probably stop about any drop that comes in. So this was not something we saw much, if any of it all, during the beta, but it's cool to see that make it into the live version of the game. A couple Marines going to get picked apart here. Can't afford to lose too many, though, because he is going to need them to kill the Banshee when the Raven pops. Cyclone will help a bit, too.
Does need that Raven to pop. Doesn't look like there's any scans.
Just gotta be careful. Cyclones are hella expensive. You can't really afford to lose this to the Banshee. So that happened once earlier today, but ByuN getting in here with this, doing quite a bit of damage. And I mean, even though the Raven was made blindly, it's like you said, ByuN almost always goes for a Banshee. You should just know what's coming.
Does not go for more than 2. There's the one here, but really, sometimes we'll see his first 3 Banshees absolutely fail, but he's planning on doing an attack beyond it, so he'll continue making them. Here we just saw him go for a fairly quick 3rd command center, but so did Journey. They're both having very similar macro builds. Just one went defensive and one went offensive. Now, ByuN does still have the, like, control of the game, even though the Banshee didn't really do so much damage. And that's one of the reasons I think that he really likes going for Banshees. You can see that scouting, it gets you a little bit in control, and it might get you a fast third CC if they don't defend properly.
Well, personally, coming from the more noob side of TvT point of view, I love Banshees for TvT if for no other reason that you know that they're probably not dropping if you've got the threat of the Banshee nearby. Kind of goes what you were talking about with control. And for ByuN's sake, not having to worry about that, this is what always tends to lead him towards like things like faster thirds that we saw a lot of in the previous series. Banshee tries to cloak, but a bit needlessly, sadly. So even here, yeah, faster third base is down, and a bit of safety guaranteed with this too. Now, it's not like Journey doesn't have his own faster third CC either. Both players still economically sound in this game, but Journey up a considerable amount of workers despite taking some of those losses.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, ByuN, he does have a nice army, but he really didn't get a lot from those two Banshees. The second one definitely did not get much at all. Didn't expect the Viking and Raven to move out to catch it, so big loss there. Because even if it doesn't go for the SCVs, then it goes when this drop happens, or it goes in accompaniment to the drop, so it, it helps out a little, maybe stamps off its own tank. It can be very helpful, and instead was almost a complete waste. Journey has actually taken a really good macro lead, even third CCs, but faster upgrades and more SCVs specifically. Now the air for Journey is out of position, chasing whatever that was, so this is not that bad.
That was a Raven. I mean, it's actually pretty important to zone that out. The auto turrets being so much more powerful in Legacy make them very dangerous to even just do the auto turret harass, but these tanks are not ranged. Those Marines getting a bit baited into some bad shots. Raven going back in for those auto turrets. He can kill about 10 or 12 SCVs with this if done correctly. One more auto turret almost ready to go on the backside as we see lots of damage coming done. SCVs are getting killed though, and that lead for Journey is quickly dissipating. Let's not forget that Raven's still got one more auto turret in it.
Oh, so annoying. Lots of damage here. And just, it's really tearing Journey apart. His SimCity is getting away a lot of the time too. He's now down in SCVs very quickly here. Now, ByuN does need to take his third CC, which is finally going over. He definitely could have done that at the same time as Journey, actually, but delayed it for quite some time.
Auto turrets get used in the main to break the attack, which is kind of cool. But that worker lead cut down, and while this did cost ByuN quite a bit of his army, I think this was necessary to get that economy evened out. He's a little bit behind in upgrades here as well. I don't know if he actually clicked on anything to confirm that.
The only problem is if a counterattack happened, he could be in trouble. But by the time Journey makes it over, he should have enough tanks.
Yeah, this is again what I love about these graphs, by the way. We've known Journey was ahead, but this really visualizes just how much he was actually ahead per minute in income. And seeing that those workers get taken down a notch, ByuN suddenly jumps back up. We're going to see a little bit of bouncing back and forth. This is when mules start getting dropped, of course. But again, it's really cool, and I would love for these graph things to work out full time. Army size, not such a big deal. Worker count, kind of irrelevant. But I really love the income graph quite a bit. Yeah,
the worker count just seems... Well, I guess it's trying to match what the income looks like. That's why it's useful. Oh, well, anyways.
Still Raven hiding back here. More auto turrets to come?
So, probably.
No, dead.
Nope, just kidding. You're dead. So not only does the work account get evened up, but it also delayed Journey's upgrades, which were far, far ahead. I think they were like 75% done or something before ByuN started his own. They're pretty far gone, but because he had to take care of everything and maybe also a little bit of forgetting, his army was a little bit late, and ByuN is trying to catch up. Everything is stabilized. In fact, Journey takes a little bit of an army supply lead and should be okay on the defense, but ByuN just has, the ability to find those really abusive, annoying positions, especially in Orbital Shipyard. I mean, Orbital Shipyard, whoever gets to this little area that ByuN's going to first, usually does a good amount of damage.
Yeah, and I mean, the supply difference might not even be that telling. That's what I love about TvT. You watch a lot of other matchups, and the supply difference absolutely determines the way the game's going to play out, but when you've got things like tanks you can drop positionally, Marines that can counter in, I mean, there's a lot of ways that you can actually use the supply deficit and still take a good fight. Tanks still going to get some shots off on the Marines, not much. ByuN being very proactive. Oh, does lose one of the medevacs, however, to that snipe on those Vikings. The difference of one tank versus two is actually quite phenomenal, so he can't really continue pushing with this, not until a second tank meets those front lines, but got a couple of good shots, some harass, and of course forced Journey to defend instead of dropping himself. No Terran player wants to be playing defensive. You always want to be pushing whenever you get the opportunity.
Journey does take about a 20 army supply lead, and again, those upgrades still definitely in favor. So whenever he does get confident enough to push out, his push will be quite scary. It's just that he is the one on the defensive. What's really nice about both these players, we went over a little bit about their styles and their history, I guess, in the beginning of the game, but didn't mention that they're both usually quite good at TvT because they're both usually quite good at being aggressive and all over the place. Both were known for their micro more than their macro, even though I think ByuN does a lot of much cooler stuff. So Journey being on the defensive like this is a little odd and probably not his comfort zone.
This drop will draw the army out of position. Drop in the main, not getting a lot done. That got picked off pretty quickly thanks to the Vikings, but...
Well, 2 Marines are getting more than expected.
Yeah, a couple of cities go down. But again, it did the job of just drawing the army back, keeping Journey at home, not moving towards the 4th, tanks floating around the natural and third base instead of being across the map. I mean, for ByuN's sake, you know, he's got to buy time till those upgrades are done, sure, but he's also got to just buy time, period, because his army supply is much smaller. I mean, when you're both 200 out of 200, then a little bit less relevant, but right now, not exactly close. Well, actually getting there now.
Yeah, getting there. Definitely needs to buy time for the upgrades, though. Doesn't not want to take a Marine fight without them. Journey also going to have a vehicle upgrade advantage. Be nice. But ByuN has that 4th base, and he's had that 4th base for about the last minute or so. But of course, Journey constantly being on the defensive. I'm not even sure he scouted it. Definitely doesn't feel like going to harass it at all.
For the last 6 minutes or so, though, ByuN has definitely been winning that income war. Again, thank you, graphs. It looks really cool to see because it's been similar-ish income this whole time, but really hard to tell just who's quite been nailing it. I mean, it looks like Journey because he's got a bank and he's got that army supply lead, but. Oh, man. Those upgrades, if those 3-3 finish, those Marines are going to have a huge lead in a fight, and ByuN's going to be really late to the upgrade party.
Yeah. Does start his pretty quickly, so again, he's bridging that gap ever so slowly, but there's like a good 45 seconds that Journey has to take a really good fight. Dropping on top of tanks that are already sieged up and ready to go, obviously not going to go well for ByuN. Loses about 3, actually. Does have a drop in the natural base of Journey. Doesn't look like it's doing too much. Has eyes on the 4th base. At least he knows it's there, and we're sending more Marines over there. Oh, can't lose his 3rd, though. Oh, he's gonna lose it. It's sniped.
I think he was underestimating just how much time he had there. He was busy dancing with the tanks on the high ground, but the Raven, given that vision, let those tanks obliterate ByuN's own tanks. This is rough. You mentioned the vehicle advantage, and it's very true just watching this fight, how big of a difference that makes.
Losing that 3rd base is going to send ByuN's economy down pretty far. That was a very important 3rd base. It was actually still mining. Now we can move over the main because it's no longer mining and not be that big of a deal. In fact, the gas guys are even mined out, but that's of course going to be a 5th base for the future that Journey might have and ByuN won't. And ByuN is also just taking like the worst engagements, so if that trend continues, he's not in a good spot.
So there's some discussion about the graphs going in chat. I just want to stress the graphs are still like heavily a beta feature, but one of the things that's cool is it can track about anything. We can look at, like, instead of having a worker count, look at the APM of the game and things like this. These are just the 3 base ones that have been laid out for testing purposes. And about, I'd say a year ago, we were testing graphs and they really weren't working. This is that same system, just slightly tweaked, and hopefully our friends at Blizzard can help us perfect it, because I think the graph system can be really cool just for additional information.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know anything about programming, but it's really hard to say programming instead of pro gaming.
I know, I was going to say, I don't know anything about pro gaming, I just cast StarCraft all the time.
But, like, it does seem like, I mean, they do it for the after game. Like, obviously the data is there, but...
Yeah, I mean, for those who don't know, you can look at everything. You can look at things like time supply blocked, etc., but a lot of this information is not worth showing, so it doesn't get shown. Marine's going to push into ByuN. ByuN is out of position here as his tanks are not quite ready to fight. Does unload in the backside, though. Gets a couple of good shots. Army supply not looking too bad for ByuN here in this position. I don't know if Journey can actually push in and break this.
That was a very hard call for ByuN to make right there, but I think in the end it was the correct one, just to lose those 2 tanks that were unsieged and get into a better position. Like now, big concave though, he's just gonna have to get away with the tanks. Marines are gonna die. Maybe not. They're
trying to find a choke. This is like a 300 moment, but it's a really good one.
Journey.
Because this buys time. In the main, we've had these 2 Marines picking off production.
Journey's like half of his army was not enough to take care of that little choke.
That choke worked out so well. Seriously, I was joking with the 300 reference, but that's pretty much what just happened.
I can't tell if he purposefully left only half his army to deal with that, or if the rest of his army got like AI'd trying to get into the main base or something. But that went really poorly.
Yo, he could be Leonidas. Leonidas, Leonidas, no?
I get it.
Whatever. That was a really good fight for ByuN, though. You don't see a lot of situations in TvT where you turn around a fight that's so heavily one-sided in a concave, but certainly does. He's going to push back some of the mining here on the planetary. It is a planetary, though, so breaking this is not going to be something easily done.
Drop the Marines.
But you know, it's moments like that you gotta. It's not even like you like or love, but you respect ByuN seeing him make decisions like that. Find ways to fight his opponent. Now, I'm not saying he's won this game yet. He's still got a big army and a huge game to fight through, but that was a good fight for ByuN. Denying a little bit of mining certainly helped too, but this army does secure the planetary here at the 4th.
ByuN didn't just take his main command center over. He actually rebuilt the 3rd base. So 3 command centers. 3 orbitals, anyways.
Yeah, well, it's going to be nice for mill dropping, for sure, but I guess when it comes to terms of bases, both players are pretty much mined out their mains and naturals, so it is kind of just 2 base economy versus 2 base economy right now. It's kind of that leapfrog forward.
Journey has not done a good job about scouting the outlying bases, and ByuN hasn't been doing like a magnificent job either, like 1 Marine every couple minutes, but the outlying bases can maybe get a orbital command down without being scouted. Especially if ByuN consistently is the one being aggressive. Now this fight, I don't think will go that well. 2 of his tanks on siege, obviously.
I think he was trying to bait a little bit here, but not quite going to be the case. Lots of siege tanks coming on the backside, though. That's going to be really nice for the wraparound. Siege tanks on the north side. For Journey, though, going to have that protection from the Marines, and ByuN gets cleaned up.
Odd. That was an odd fight. I don't know why ByuN had 2 of his tanks on siege. Like, you're right. Like, you wanted to bait, but
it was like watching a yin-yang symbol with the Marines, just like each one concave on the other, one being a lot better than the other.
Journey does have, very few SCVs, so he really is only mining off 1.25 bases right now. And that will affect him in the future, but now, in this moment, he is up in army, and ByuN has to survive.
How did we not see Liberators in the production tab? That was a weird thing to see, but it's going to help out a ton here. Journey with a huge positional advantage, huge army lead. ByuN, who was looking so good in this game, now down 60 supply. He's going to pull SCVs to buy himself some time, but it's not enough time in the world to buy for this fight. Marine's going to try and shoot in the front lines, but GG gets called. Journey going to take game number 1.